How did France become the hub for everything fashion? And guys, did you know that just as we have the founding fathers of anything, we have the father of fashion and we also have the mother of fashion? Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and I hope everyone is doing fine. Just as I stated in my last week's video, I'm going to be sharing a brief summary on the history of fashion and the history of French fashion. If you haven't watched the video, I'm going to leave it at the end of this video. You should definitely give it a watch. So guys, how did we come about fashion? What's the history of fashion? What is fashion? Let's start with what fashion is. Fashion is a form of self-expression and identity. Are you sleek, business-minded, hipster, vintage? Fashion is clothing that becomes a trend, which tends to reflect a behavior, mindset, or circumstance. There are old fashion trends all over history, telling a story about the people of that time and culture. Now let's take a little dive in the history of fashion. The father of fashion is called Frederick Worth, and he founded a leading fashion house called the House of Worth in 1958. The mother of fashion is called Jane Lanvin. Jane Lanvin is a fashion designer who started out with making hats for young ladies and women's collections. Then she moved on to lingerie. Then she launched wedding dresses. That's Jane Lanvin's wedding dresses. She moved on to sportswears, men's collections, fragrances, and even into interior designing. And she built an empire for herself. Now guys, did you know that Coco Chanel is considered to be the greatest fashion icon of all time, and many actually consider her to be the greatest fashion force to ever live? Did you also know that Hermes is the oldest fashion brand? It was originated in 1837. And then the oldest clothing brand is called Brooks Brothers, and it's an American high-end luxury clothing brand. It was founded in 1818. Now guys, have you ever heard of the term called the Great Depression? The Great Depression is simply a severe global economic downturn which affected different countries in our world, resulting to a global economic depression, and it lasted from 1829 to 1839, which is approximately a full decade. Now, how did fashion start? How did fashion come about? Fashion started in the ancient Rome and Egypt, where the rich people wore very stylish and expensive garments that were colorful, and then the poor people wore garments that were only neutral colored and they were cheap but useful. And then back in the day, women actually dressed in long modest dresses and the men wore togas, and togas are simply like a symbol of Roman citizenship. Now guys, how did fashion evolve through each decade from the 90s up until this date? In the 90s, women wore tailored blouses and skirts while men wore tailored pants and shirts. And then in the 1910s, women wore hats and short hairs. They started having the boyish dressing, like the short hair, the hats, they even started smoking. And then in the 1920s, we had the flapper style. That was a trend for the 1920s, flapper style, and this flapper style came in different patterns like the gingham, vertical stripes, and plaid. The flapper style being androgynous, it wasn't showing curves or highlighting femininity in any way. And then it moved to the 1930s where fedoras became a thing, fedoras and then floral patterned dresses for women. And then we moved to the 1940s. 1940s became a more casual time for women, where for the first time in fashion history, women started wearing pants regularly. Then came the 1950s with designers like Christian Dior, Cristobal Balenciaga, Charles James, and Hubert de Givenchy became popular in the 1950s. Then it moved on to the 1960s, and actually guys, the fashion trends moved rapidly through each decade. The 1960s came with the movement of the hippie style, and it came with trends like the peace sign, the peace sign, tie and dye, denim, and then bell bottoms, and also a fashion style called the bohemian. It came in the 1960s. Then the 1970s came the disco era, and this was the first time in fashion history where music had an influence on fashion. And I would say the people or the designers wanted their outfits to reflect the flashy disco lights, and also for the first time in fashion history, the clothing became androgynous. That's this disco era. And then we moved to the 1980s. The 1980s is considered to be an extravagant time in the history of fashion. It's called the time of extravagance, and the only reason why it's considered to be a time of extravagance is because that was a time the economy was fully bouncing back and thriving from the Great Depression. So the 1980s, it came with highlighted colors and crazy designs. And actually, guys, in the 60s and 70s, that was when women started wearing mini skirts, bell-bottom pants, and bell-bottom pants is what we know as palazzo trousers or palazzo pants. That is bell-bottom pants. And we moved to the 1990s. In the 1990s, we had fashion brands like Versace, Guess, and Tommy Hilfiger become popular, and it came with a grunge style like flannels and ripped jeans with accessories as well, like the chains and ties. That's the necktie and all those chains we're using today on our trousers. All those things, they actually came in the 1990s. Then it evolved to the 2000s. The 2000s was when fast fashion came into place, and we have brands like Zara, H&M, and Forever 21 to be the pioneers of this trend. And actually in the 2000s as well, they started advertising online. Until date, actually, fashion has just been evolving in a way, but in my personal opinion, not by history, I feel we're still somewhat repetitive of the fashion trends, because we know palazzo pants today, but palazzo pants is known as bell-bottom pants, and that came like decades ago. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Now let's move to the history of French fashion. Paris Fashion Week is actually a household name. That's how big Parisian fashion culture. And it actually started, it traces back to the opulent, lavish lifestyle of King Louis XIV, where he would spend huge amounts of money for the finest designers to deck him out. And then in the 20th century, we had a French designer called Paul Poiret. And according to him, he said corsets were out of style, and then he started designing billowing garments like kimonos, harem pants, and sultana skirts. And then he is actually the originator of the term or the fashion term called haute couture. Paul Poiret, a French fashion designer, is the originator of the term haute couture. Till date, Parisian fashion has a huge influence on modern fashion till today, and it's actually one of my dreams to, stay or settle down in France, Paris, whichever, because of the fashion, specifically just for the fashion. I feel there's so much to explore and learn from the fashion there, and yeah, why not? And then guys, let me give you guys a little summary of some of the origins of some of the world's renowned designer brands we know. First will be Coco Chanel. Coco Chanel actually revolutionized women's fashion heavily. She was the one who, from the timeless designs, they created the black dresses, suits. It was Coco Chanel that actually started creating suits or making suits without collar for ladies and adding a silhouette to the suits for more fitting and highlighting feminism. And then the next on the list would be Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton is known for their luxury luggage goods and also their monochrome designs, their unique and innovative monochrome designs. And then we have Gucci. Gucci actually specialized in leather goods before they moved on to clothing, accessories, fragrances, and what we all know to be Gucci today. Next will be Prada. Prada was founded by Mario Prada, and it was actually his granddaughter who revolutionized ready-to-wear dresses with accessories to match. His granddaughter revolutionized or started ready-to-wear dresses. Next on the line will be Christian Dior. Christian Dior is known for its glamorous and feminine outfits or designs, and they are actually, or they have a reputation of being the leading haute couture. Next would be Versace. Versace is known for its bold and glamorous designs with a little bit of rock and roll, and Versace actually coined the celebrity culture. And then the next would be Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren is an American high-end luxury fashion brand that deals in polos, tweed suits, and accessories just like the Ralph Lauren logo. Let me share with you guys some of the greatest fashion icons to ever live, both male and females. For our females, we have Audrey Hepburn, we have Jane Birkin, we have Cher, we have Madonna, we have Rihanna, of course, we have Marilyn Monroe, we have Jackie Kennedy, we have Coco Chanel, and then for the males, we have David Beckham, Keanu Reeves, A$AP Rocky, Harry Styles, and Brad Pitt. Yeah guys, let's move on to what's our quote for the week. Our quote for this week would be yourself, everyone else is taken. And the next quote would be, the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. And guys, if you guys have any question or any additional information you would like to enlighten me and others, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. And guys, my outfit today was actually gifted to me by my Turkmenistan friend, and according to her, she said this is the modern version of their traditional attire. This is what they usually wear for their day-to-day lives and at home, and it's actually really pretty. I'll try to see if I can give you guys the full look, but it's actually so free, and then it has a rope at the back or the both sides where you can just tie it to give you a better fitting or that silhouette fitting. It's really nice. I love the colors so much, and it's just so beautiful. The prints, the colors, and actually the traditional attires are really colorful and really has so much designs. So guys, I don't know if you can see it. This is what it looks like standing. This is what the back looks like. This is what the down part looks like. It's a very comfortable, free flowing dress. And see how just tying the rope elevates the outfit, gives it a better fitting. And I just thought to give you guys a few fun facts about Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan, the capital is called Ashgabat, and in Ashgabat, all the buildings are white, pure white. Aside the gold, they are known for their gold. They actually, some of their buildings have gold. And then all the cars in the capital as well is all white. All white buildings, all white cars. And actually the buildings in Turkmenistan, or I'll say the buildings in the capital, which is Ashgabat, they are really unique and spectacular designs. If you get what I mean, they are really beautiful actually. And then fun facts, the actual fun facts, there is a place in Turkmenistan that has been burning since 1971 for over 50 years. It's known as the Gate of Hell or the gas crater. And it actually happened, like I said, in 1971 when geologists were digging for gas, I think methane gas, and the cavern fell or it collapsed. So out of the fear of releasing toxic gas to the environment or to the air, they decided to burn it, hoping that it will go off in a few days or a week at most. But it's been burning for over 50 years till date, and it's actually open to tourists. You can Google it, you can maybe check it on TikTok. There have been people who have been there, and yeah, that's it about Turkmenistan. And for this week, thank you so much for joining me on this week's video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.